Welcome into 4th and 5. I'm DJ Williams, and I wanted to hop on here real quick and answer the question, do we need to believe the hype when it comes to Kenny Guiton as the offensive coordinator? Can he keep it up the remaining 3 games of the year? Good enough for our offense to get us to a bowl game, 6 wins. I will say after watching tape, I saw a lot of things I love, and I'm going to showcase some of those. I'm going to show you here in just a second. But the things that I did not like, the issues that I saw pop up, I believe will prevent this team from making it to a bowl game. That may not be that big of a deal against a struggling Auburn, maybe not at FIU, but against Missouri, it's a good football team. A very difficult team to beat, it's going to be. And the good thing is, the things I'm going to show you on tape, they actually are fixable. So if they are fixed, we're going to have a shot to compete in that last game of the year to hopefully make it to a bowl game. And yes, I don't like to get ahead of myself. If they're not fixed at all by Auburn, we may find ourselves in a bad situation as well. So that being said, let's go ahead and look at that tape. I talked about Kenny Guiton, the most offensive yards for the Arkansas Razorbacks this year. So you have to give him props. You have to give shout outs. But these big plays, I think sometimes, I would say, blind us for some issues that are still going on because KJ just does an amazing job doing what KJ does best. He loves to improvise, makes big plays with his feet. But I think there was a little confusion of a lot of people saying, it's Coach Guiton. It's Coach Guiton. That's why these plays are happening. The tempo did help, yes, but there are still so many breakdowns on the offensive line that just kind of have me a hard time trusting to see if we can keep this up. But first, I want to start with the first drive of the game. The amazing tempo out of the gate. You can see he was creative and he wanted to attack and make a statement. And this is where the tempo that Guiton was listening to KJ, listening to Rocket Sanders, listening to his guys. This touchdown right here, pretty basic stuff right here. You're going to have these 2 guys kind of crossing these shallow routes. It's going to create traffic. The back's going to come out of the backfield. And the play clock, you can see 25 seconds, so the tempo is going fast. You take a look at the guy guarding the running back. It's this linebacker right here. He's still trying to put his mouthpiece in. The tempo is just too fast for him. He's not even set. That's why he kind of gets caught up in that traffic, and the running back is wide open. That's where the tempo kind of comes into play. Now, when I talked about these issues I'm dealing with, it's the pass protection. Arkansas was rolling until they got to this series right here. It was a 3rd down and a blitz for the Florida Gators, and they got to KJ pretty easy. But if you go back and watch the tape, they just let a man run completely free, untouched, and just a completely mental breakdown by the offensive line, which is the biggest concern of mine to see if we can make it to a bowl game. There's just no exception here, or no excuse, that is, to not understand why they're not able to pick up this blitz. He's literally right at the line of scrimmage, just a mental breakdown from the offensive line. And so you think that they are working on these things and they're picking them up. I'm going to take you to this play by KJ. This is another one where they're just like, Kenny Guiton, calling the shots. Look at KJ finally doing his thing. Once again, a completely mental breakdown from the offensive line, but you would never know it because of the big pickup. You can see right here, they do a little twist blitz, and they let a guy completely unblocked run through the line of scrimmage. He just misses KJ. This is just chalked up to very poor tackling. There's no excuse for that guy from Florida not to have a sack. And if he does sack KJ on this play, it changes the entire game. But KJ's somehow able to get out of this and pick up the first down with his feet. But once again, you don't want to ask that from KJ every single time. The offensive line needs to be able to pick these up. I think once you start playing against teams that have better linebackers who can actually make these tackles, then you're going to find ourselves in trouble moving the ball and staying on the field to get down in scoring position. Now, what happens with, when you finally do pick it up? There were a few times I did see the offensive line pick it up, but I would say right now the biggest chink in our armor when it comes to the offensive side of the ball, and I don't want to pick on anybody, but the tape and the film don't lie, it's going to be our left tackle on the offensive line of scrimmage. Now, we talked about we need to take the deep shot down the field. You can't take deep shots down the field if you don't have time to throw the ball. And you can't really keep everyone in to help pass protect because you want to start putting strain on safeties. You have to have multiple receivers running downfield, so a safety kind of has to pick and choose, and the quarterback is able to hold them with its eyes. But when you have everyone in to pass protect, it's going to be easy coverage on the outside with safety help over the top. So you can see right here, the offensive line does a great job picking up all these twists and all these stunts, but it's just our left tackle, the inability and athletic ability to be able to pick up these blocks. I mean, this isn't anything special from this Florida defensive end. We just struggle that bad. And I think it really does get in KJ head, because if you go to another play right here, this is a big first down pickup. They get on the ball with tempo, and it should be, once again, a very easy block for the left tackle. Just so slow getting to the kick slides, and it's just going to be a problem moving forward. Now, this is where Kenny Guiton, I like what you're doing, my guy, because he's saying, yes, that is a chink in our armor, but we still want to throw the deep ball. Is there another way we can do this? So what he does slide protection. He's moving all the offensive linemen to the right. He said, my left tackle can't handle that DN. I'm not going to ask him to. I love it. He's going to bring this tight end behind the line of scrimmage to kick this defensive end out. And just in case that's not enough, he's going to have the running back also help out. Now, you can see they barely got him, but that's all you need to give KJ time and trust to go ahead and deliver a dime down the field and a huge pickup for the Razorbacks. And so when you look at these creative ways that Kenny Guiton is still trying to have the deep ball and understanding different ways to put his guys in a position to be successful, you got to like that from the guy. Now, this is where KJ also needs to understand, like, some of these instances, you can't be so quick not to trust your offensive line. You can see it getting in his head. This is a great play call by Kenny Guiton right here. Another third down. Now, obviously, KJ picks it up. Crowd's going crazy. Fans are just like, yeah, great play. KJ, I don't believe needed to run this one. And I think he even saw the play was there. He just didn't trust it. I always think he thinks somebody's on his backside, and he's scared of rearing that ball back with a potential sack fumble, which almost happened in the game. But you can see right here, a great concept. You have a guy in the flat, and you're going to have this receiver running a corner route, a 7 route. And you can see right there, it's there. And KJ's looking right at him. The ball should be out right now for a very easy completion. I just think he just has that much distrust in his left tackle where he doesn't always know what's going to come behind him. So he decides to pull the ball down and pick it up himself. Now, I'll never knock the guy for trusting in himself. He put the team on his back. I'm all about it. But you're going to come across some teams where you're just not going to be able to do that. And Missouri is one of those teams later in the year. But yes, I know we got to focus on Auburn, but Missouri, we're going to have to brush this stuff up quick. So that's the passing game. Another thing that was great to see was the running game. Rocket Sanders, what's up, yo? Getting back in action. What was so good, I saw Rocket in the press conference, and he was just grinning. And all he was talking about was, man, the tempo. I love the tempo, the tempo. He kind of said without saying, I wasn't going to play with Enos on that slow offense. And as soon as Kenny got back and he said he was going to have tempo, okay, I'll come back and play. But so what was the biggest difference? I like him essentially running the same thing, Kenny Guiton that is, but he wasn't asking his offensive linemen to make these very difficult blocks on the second level, trying to get up to these linebackers. For example, let me go back to the Ole Miss game. And this is going to be a read option or option run. KJ has the ability to pull it, but you're going to hand it off to Rocket. It's flowing to the left side of the field. But you can see the right tackle, the backside right tackle's responsibility is to get up to the second level of this linebacker tucked inside of him with the ball flow going that way. There's absolutely no way this guy is getting this block, and Enos would just keep calling these plays, and it just made no sense. That guy gets to the line of scrimmage so easily and blows up the play. But instead, now let's fast forward, pretty much the same play, just different with the blocking scheme. Instead of the left tackle going up to try to get this inside linebacker, it's going to be the left guard, a much easier route. Now, football ain't pretty. I get it. My guy gets through 6'2", and he gets tripped up. He stumbles, but I will take what we can get. He gets in the path of this linebacker who has no path to get through the line of scrimmage. Like I said, it's not always going to be pretty in college football, but he got his job done. But I just like the idea of putting his guys in a better space to be successful. And also, you can see right here, he has an athletic back, I'd say tight end that is, going upfield, blocking these linebackers and these nickel safeties and all those guys. He's not asking his linemen to try to block these guys in space. That's going to allow Rocket to find that lane and get things rolling on the offensive side of the ball. So Kenny Guiton, yes, what he brought, I would say most importantly to that game was, I don't know what it is in the locker room or what conversations were had, man. They love playing for that guy. And people think that at that level, there should be no excuse who the coach is. You got to give 100% all the time. I'm telling you, what separates good coaches from great coaches is having the same set of players, and you're able to get something out of this group of guys that another coach is not able to. And Kenny Guiton is one of those guys. Yes, the footage of him after the game saying we beat them Gators in the swamp in Gainesville. He goes into the locker room. He takes his shirt off, and he's over there dancing and getting hyped with his guys. Man, that's special to see. And I know a lot of people were saying, and even I said at first, that's a lot of celebrating for only 3 wins on the year. But you can just tell what this team has gone through with a lack of trust and communication and being on the same page with the guy calling the shots. It's very frustrating to have this guy come in and give him a chance and an opportunity. And he did more than you could possibly imagine when it comes to coaches ask all the time, when it's your chance to step up, what are you going to do? And Coach Guiton had that chance to put it on full display for himself. It's my time to step up. This is what we're going to do. And that was just very exciting to see for the coaching staff for those Arkansas Razorbacks. Still a lot of things to work on, a lot of things to brush up on. Left tackle, that's going to be the key moving forward the rest of the year to seeing if our offense can keep this thing going. I guess we'll keep an eye on it, but I want y'all to make sure y'all still watch for our episode we are dropping on Friday. We're going to get a little bit more in depth with everything, talking about Razorbacks, more predictions if they're going to win out and make it to a bowl game. What's it look like if they don't? More on Kenny Guiton, more on the defense, and more on our head coach, Sam Pittman. And just make sure you stay tuned. And as we've really appreciated the comments that a lot of viewers been asking, please continue to bring those in. Please share this video. Please like and subscribe. We're starting to see us getting a little following. The more subscribers we get, we're actually going to be able to potentially start doing a little bit more, working on some sponsor deals. So everything we get, I tell you one thing, we want to give back to our viewers, and we appreciate the feedback. And as always, I like to say, go Hogs. You're watching 4th and 5.